Hey guys, so this is a tutorial on how to make a contact sheet. I'm going to show you two different ways to do that, one using Adobe Bridge and the other using Adobe Photoshop. It's a little bit easier, I think, to use Bridge, so I'm going to show you that first. The first thing you want to do is put all of your files into a single folder. That can be anywhere on your desktop or somewhere else, but somewhere where you know where they are. And all of your files should be in there and ready to make into a contact sheet. Once that is done, you can simply drag your folder directly into the bridge icon on your desktop, like so. And these are all of my images that I'm going to make into a contact sheet. As you can see on the bottom left, there are 58 different images in this folder that will be composed into the contact sheet. You can also see you can drag this window by simply moving it to the right or to the left to make your images on the left, your thumbnails on the left, bigger or smaller, and your image on the right, which is the image you have selected, bigger or smaller. So I'm just going to go it around there. And you can also drag this to the right or to the left to make your thumbnails bigger or smaller as well. I'm going to make them all this size, and then I'm going to select all of the images. You can do that by simply hitting Command A or by dragging your cursor over all of the images to highlight them, or by clicking on the top one and holding down Shift and clicking on the bottom one. So once you have all of your images that you want to make into your contact sheet highlighted and selected, you want to go up to your Tools bar at the top of your Adobe Bridge 2020 tabs here. Your drop-down window for Tools, you want to click on Photoshop and move over to the Contact Sheet 2 tab here. So go ahead and select Contact Sheet 2, and this window will open up. So you're going to use Bridge as your source image. That is currently selected. You want your contact sheets to be roughly letter size. 10 by 8 is fine. You want to change your resolution, and this is important. You don't want each page to be 300 dpi. Change that to 150 dpi. That will allow your file size, when you turn this into your multiple pages into a PDF, they won't be so large. So turn that resolution or change that resolution from 300 to 150. And don't worry about color profile just too much, just as long as it's not in grayscale. Just make sure your color profile is set to a color and not to grayscale. 8-bit is plenty good. Don't set it to 16-bit. Your file size will be too large. And this section here will determine how many images you have on a single page, right? So each page of your contact sheet will be 8 by 10 inches at 150 resolution. And at this point, you're going to have 4 columns and 5 rows, which means 20 images. If it were 5 columns and 5 rows, it would be 25 images, 5 times 5. 4 by 5 is 20 images. 6 rows and 6 columns and 5 rows is 30 images. So I'm going to make it 5 by 5. So I have 5 columns and 5 rows. That will put 25 images up on my contact sheet. And then if you guys want your file name to be listed under each image in your contact sheet, you would click your font to be checked. If you don't want your file name to be listed, you would uncheck it. For the purposes of this assignment, I want you guys to check it so that I can cross-reference your file names if I have a question or want to refer to a specific file. I will list that file name. And then you hit OK. So now Photoshop will do the work of laying all of your images out into a contact sheet, and it will do it chronologically. So you see 08642 comes first, 43, 44, and so on all the way across. So right now that's one sheet, and now it's doing the work of making your second sheet. So I have 54 files. It's going to make 3 at 25 images per page. It's going to make 3 contact sheets. The first two will be 25 images per page, and the last one should have 3. Or excuse me, 8. And there you have it. 1 contact sheet, 2 contact sheet, 3 contact sheets. So that's how you make a contact sheet from Bridge. If you don't want to make your contact sheet using Bridge, you can do it straight from Photoshop. The reason why I like doing it in Bridge, I should mention, is it allows you to see all of your images that you've taken and you're about to make into a contact sheet, so you can make some decisions about which images you want to choose or don't want to choose. For example, if I don't want to have this word or this image in the file, I could simply hit delete and erase that image. If you wanted to move these images around so that the order is different, you simply click on an image and drag them to where you want them in the file. And when you make your contact sheet, that image on the top left will come out first, and that image on the bottom right will come out last. Okay, so those are the benefits of doing it in Bridge. Now, how do you do it in Photoshop? So you want to open Photoshop and then go to File, Automate, Contact Sheet 2. So File, Automate, Contact Sheet 2. I'm not sure why that came up. So this window will come up, and then this allows you to determine where you want to select where your files are. Since you're not in Bridge, you would select a folder on your computer. In my case, my folder is on my desktop, so I select Writing on the Wall, and it will include all of the images that are in that folder. If there were other subfolders inside of that folder and you had include subfolders, it would include those images. I'm going to uncheck that. And then same thing applies as if you were doing it in Bridge. You select your units, your widths, your height, your resolution. You want to make sure it's in color. You want to make sure it's 8-bit, and determine how you want your thumbnails to appear on each sheet. 5 columns, 5 rows, that's 25 per page. And in this case, I'm going to unclick so that you guys can see the difference of how it comes out when you don't include the text underneath each image. So again, 3 pages, 58 images total, 25 on each page, except for the last page, which has 8 images. That is how you make a contact sheet. Now, to save these files individually, you go to File, Save As, and then I'm going to call this one Contact Sheet 1. And I'm going to switch it from a PSD file, which is a Photoshop file, to a JPEG. I'm going to choose the folder that I want to save it in, which is my writings on the wall folder. And then down here, I'm going to select a new folder, and I'm going to call this Contact Sheets. And I'm going to hit Create. So now, inside my writing on the wall folder here, I now have a folder called Contact Sheets. And each of my contact sheets I'm going to save as a JPEG at quality 12, the largest quality. And it will save that file, it will save that file into that folder. So I'm going to save all 3 of those files. Remember to change it to a JPEG. And then I'm going to hit save. So all 3. Saving as a JPEG. And now I have all 3 of my files saved in my contact sheet folder. And now they're ready to turn into PDFs.